Hello everyone! Hopefully you're doing well today. Where I am, it is sweltering 115 degrees. And in the 11 years we've been here, it has never been that hot. I don't think it's ever been that hot here. We're having this heat wave on the west coast that's coming across, and it's horribly hot. So my hair is up because it's extremely, like, you can't even step outside. It's like stepping into an oven. It's horrible. Before I get started on my video for you guys today, I wanted to show you a couple of things because I've been really drawn to the Labradorite lately, and I got a couple pieces, and these are just so beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. It's like, there we go. It's a fire Labradorite. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And I sleep with all kinds of crystals under my pillow. And I love this one. I'm going to make it into a necklace. As you've probably noticed, I have lots of stone jewelry. And I just got this a couple weeks ago. It's a golden phantom selenite crystal. I've never seen the golden phantom, like, or gold, any other colors in selenite, because it's already liquid light. Then it has the gold in there. Isn't that cool? And it's awesome because, like, it literally fits right in the palm of my hand. It's like a control pad. So sometimes I sleep with that under my pillow too. So a couple cool crystals. I have my water, so I'm really thirsty today since it is dry. My remember who you are. That's probably backwards. And I've got cats at my door, of course. There's been a few things happening over the last few days, and there's a whole lot going on. Whole lot going on behind the scenes. Holy cow. Like, we are ready. We are ready for things to start. I did get to go to the Arise Freedom Tour with Patriot Street Fighter, Scott McKay, Lee Dundas. Sasha Stone was not there, unfortunately, but I did get to go to that tour in Coeur d'Alene, and it was really good. There were a lot more people than I expected to show up, and I brought my friend, and she really enjoyed it too. And it was, Lee Dundas is a firehouse, I'll tell you. She's a really good speaker. It was a really great experience. I got some pictures. We didn't stay to meet anybody because we live 2 hours away from there, and it was after 9 when they got finished, and so we just had to come home. But anyways, a great experience. Today I normally wouldn't talk about stuff like this because I want to bring enlightenment to people, encourage, but this is something they talked about too at this rally, and I feel like people need to talk about it more. And a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. They don't want to recognize that it goes on in our world. And something that came out a few days ago, and there was another one previous to this, but they had found another 751 unmarked graves of Native Indigenous people at this residential school in Canada. All this stuff's coming out, and it's just crazy insane. And I have an article, I'm going to read it to you, and I'll link it below if you want to read it. It says, a First Nation in Canada announced on Thursday that it discovered 751 unmarked graves at the site of a former residential school in Saskatchewan province, marking the second time in less than a month that Canada's dark and bloody history of Indigenous genocide has been once again thrust into the light. The Cowessess First Nation made the horrific discovery at a cemetery near the former Marieville Indian Residential School, reports CBC. The Maryville Indian Residential School operated from 1899 to 1997 in the area. Children from the First Nations in southeastern Saskatchewan and southwestern Manitoba were forced to go to the schools. The discovery comes just a few weeks after Canada and the rest of the world was shocked by the confirmation by the, I can't pronounce these because they're in Indian, First Nation, that the bodily remains Indigenous children were found in a mass grave at the site of the former Kamloops Indian Residential School in British Columbia. Like, I knew about this years ago, and there was a man that was supposed to testify, and he ended up dead. Wonder why. So more of this stuff is coming out. On Thursday, Cowessess Chief Cadmus Delorme, I apologize if I get that wrong, noted that while this was a horrific and shocking discovery, the site near the Maryville Indian Residential School was different from the one at Kamloops. This is not a mass grave site. These are unmarked graves, said Delorme. We are treating this like a crime scene at the moment. She also noted that there may have been markers at the graves at some point, but that the Roman Catholic Church could have removed them at some point prior to handing over control of the cemetery to Cowessess in the 1970s. The news that hundreds of unmarked graves have been found in Cowessess First Nation is absolutely tragic but not surprising, tweeted Barry Bellegarde, the National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations. I urge all Canadians to stand with First Nations in this extremely difficult and emotional time. It says roughly 150,000 First Nations children were forcibly separated from their families, and communities, church-run communities, and forced to attend the government-funded Catholic and Protestant, church-run schools. Sorry, it's a little out of order here, which were established in the 19th century to assimilate Indigenous children. Unbelievable. Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission has confirmed that large amounts of Indigenous children fled such residential or died there, their whereabouts unknown. Former students have also testified to the horrific sexual, mental, and physical abuse they suffered while enrolled at the schools. Myriads of students died from preventable diseases that rapidly spread in unsanitary conditions, as well as in accidents and fires. Others disappeared when trying to escape. The commission has also said that the schools institutionalized child neglect and were meant to carry out cultural genocide. This was a crime against humanity. Bobby Cameron, chief of the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nation, told Vice News, "The only crime we committed as children was being born Indigenous. We had concentration camps here. We had them here in Saskatchewan. They were called Indian Residential Schools." I've always been drawn to Native cultures since I was small, since I was a little girl. I love their culture. I love the fact that they believe in nature. They're colorful. I just always kind of looked up to them. And this, like, we know the atrocities that were done on Native peoples in America and everywhere else. Like, it's horrible. It should have never happened. But you know what? That's what the church wanted. And the Catholic Church came in and you know, they live under that disguise of, oh, we're good and we worship God and this is for the better and you're just heathens. And they felt threatened by that culture because that culture didn't worship their false god. That culture knew how to heal with herbals, holistics. They knew how to live off the land. They didn't need anything the church was trying to push. So of course the church had to come in and do these horrible things to these people, and it really infuriates me. It really does. All this stuff is coming out about abuses against children, or anybody for that effect, like human trafficking. So it's just something I wish we could have not done in the past. But I live in an area where there are a lot of natives, and we have reservations, and there are a lot of white people now that want to learn from them, but they don't want to teach the white man, and I don't blame them. I don't. But the fact is I didn't do that. My generation didn't do that to these people, and I really hope we can get beyond that. I understand there's in this SRA abuse of people, what's done to it's done generational. So that person who's abused grows up, has kids, they do that to their kids, and so on and so on and so on. So there's a trauma. There's an extreme trauma in that culture. That's why they don't trust white people. And I think we need to get beyond that as we're moving into this new age of enlightenment. We need to. It needs to be healed, and we need to come together, because I really believe we need to go back to the indigenous ways of living off the land and not creating waste of holistic cures from your herbs, your plants, your trees, worshiping nature instead of a deity. You're not supposed to worship. You're not supposed to have idolatry. That's part of the Bible itself, but yet people still worship idols. Okay, we don't need that. We need to move beyond that. I just want to, and I like the way that they're, the indigenous people and sort of the Asian culture, and there's other cultures that they honor. There's honor in their family, for generations. If you do something bad, you are dishonoring your whole family. White people don't have that, and I'm not into this whole cult, this white race supremacy thing. It's a bunch of crap. But yeah, I think there needs to be honor in your family, and knowing right from wrong and your morals. So I like the fact that they do that in certain cultures. So in talking about that, and I was thinking, when all this started coming out about them rescuing children last spring, and I was telling all my friends this, and they kind of didn't believe me. And now a little bit it's coming out. But it kind of, I remembered a story from years ago about them using, I was like, how in the world are these poor children, or even adults I'm sure they've rescued, how are they ever going to get over that trauma? How? You can't just do it by going to therapy. It's not going to work. This is a generational trauma. These poor people went through so much trauma. There's no real way for them to be a normal person in society. Let's put it that way. So anyway, I thought of this article, and there's several, and I'll try and link them below, about them coming up with methods for removing those memories. And with hopefully the med beds coming in soon, this is how they're healing the children. They're going to be able to go in there and pull those traumatic memories out, and it's kind of going to be like a total recall. And maybe they're going to put in good memories, good family memories, or good, like a vacation memory, or just good life memories instead of these traumatic ones. They have to be doing this because, like I said, they wouldn't be able to survive in society ever if those weren't pulled. And it was an article too about the soldiers with PTSD and how they're, going to be able to pull those traumatic memories out of their head, basically, so they forget them. And it's going to be that way too, and not only the children that they're saving, but the soldiers who are going in there and literally breaking down because of what they've seen. So hopefully these med beds will be able to go in and take those old bad memories away and maybe put in a good one. So I will put some of those articles below, but I wanted to read one for you. It's called Ptsd and the Ethics of Erasing Bad Memories. So, Dan Campbell felt the bullets whiz past his head, the tracer rounds zipped between his legs. It was his first firefight as a Canadian soldier in Afghanistan. I was completely frightened and scared like I'd never been before in my life, he says. As the attack continued, the sights, sounds, and smells started to form memories inside his brain. The fear he felt released the hormone, I can't even pronounce this, norepinephrine. And in the complex chemistry of the brain, the memories of the battle became associated with the fear. I think one day, hopefully in the not too distant future, we will be able to delete a memory, says Dr. Sheena Jocelyn, senior scientist, Hospital for Sick Children Research Institute. 6 years later, a sight or sound, such as a firecracker or car backfiring, can remind him of that night in 2008. The fear comes back, and he relives rather than remembers the moments. It can be hard, physically, There's the tapping foot, my heart beating, he says. Like so many soldiers and victims of assault or people who have experienced horrific accidents, Campbell was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Now a newspaper reporter in Yellowknife, Campbell thinks one day he might get therapy, but for now he's working on his own to control the fear and anger the memories bring. But what if he could just erase those memories? What if he could wipe out the fear as if it never existed? So listen to the Ideas documentary, hit delete. I don't know what that means, but I'm just reading this. Some memory researchers believe they are getting closer to helping former soldiers like Campbell and others haunted by the past delete the fear memories. Memory in an evolutionary sense is about survival, says Dr. Sheena Jocelyn, a senior scientist at the Hospital for Sick Children Research Institute in Toronto. It is our warning system to prevent us from repeating dangerous actions. But traumatic memories, such as those in the brains of people with PTSD, can interfere with daily living. They can cause sleeplessness, or if sleep comes, disturbing dreams. They can bring moments of anxiety and can make normal relationships with others impossible. In her lab, Jocelyn is working to find a way to delete or at least dampen the fear associated with traumatic memory. Current research says a memory is located in various parts of the brain. The neurons or brain cells that are encoded with the fear are in one part of the brain while other parts of the memory are elsewhere. Jocelyn, working with rodents in a lab, is developing ways of locating the group of neurons that hold the fear. Once she has that, then she hopes to target just those cells chemically and disrupt their ability to keep that fear encoded. We're not there yet, she says, but we're certainly getting close in rodents. I think one day, hopefully in the not too distant future, we will be able to delete a memory. There are many hurdles to overcome. The brain has 86 million neurons. The memories Jocelyn is working with may be stored in as few as several hundred neurons. Scientists are researching ways of deleting traumatic memories in the human brain, such as those created in the midst of war. Current techniques are nowhere near specific enough to delete so small a group and leave everything else intact. And there is an ethical hurdle. Some scientists believe that deleting memories deletes a vital part of a person's identity. It's those emotions that tell you who I am, says Dr. Francois Baylis, who holds the Canada Research Chair in Bioethics and Philosophy at Dalhousie University in Halifax. Baylis cautions that deleting even the worst of a person's memories can interfere with the sense of self. She does not want people to suffer, but she says learning how to deal with the fear and anxiety can produce strength. Campbell questions the research as well. He believes his memories, his fears and anxieties are a part of who he is. You go to a place to see some pretty horrible stuff, and you're a little different after. Sometimes you have strange mental reactions. I think that is anything but a disorder. That's normal. Back in her lab, Jocelyn knows that her research may not be for everyone, but for those who cannot function because of traumatic memories, she wants to relieve the suffering. She suggests that what she is proposing could propose the same effect as therapy, but faster. Some people would argue, and I wouldn't disagree, that what cognitive therapy does is eventually change your brain circuits, she says. So we are doing the same thing that cognitive therapy might do. We are taking away the emotional component of a memory in much the same way we do. It's always towards the common goal. It's just the routes in are different. So I just kind of wanted to read that for you guys. I will link that below with several other ones that I have found about wiping memories. Not saying that's what they'll do, but it seems a pretty easy thing to think. With these medbeds, they can do pretty much anything. So hopefully this is how they are healing these people. And I also wanted to just talk about, with all this going on, and it's not only people that they're doing this to. I am a huge animal lover. Animals are involved in sacrifice and torture and rape, and it's horrible. These people are not humans. You cannot be a human if you are doing this to people and animals. Okay? So, all these animals that go missing, there's a lot of animals that are being sacrificed out there too, with these rituals and things. I saw a documentary years ago, and I cannot unsee it to this day. I think it was on 60 Minutes. It's basically about the animal, how they eat animals in China. Okay, and this was a poor, lovely German Shepherd dog. They pulled out behind the restaurant and then tied him up, and the poor thing was still wagging his tail. Happy dog. They skinned the dog alive while he's still wagging his tail. They cut him up alive to feed them to people in this restaurant. Okay. I also boycotted Burlington Coat Factory because they had coats. They probably still do. I haven't been in there since. It's been, like I said, probably 20 years. If you see like the fur trim on a coat, check the label. If it says Mongolian dog fur, that's a dog. That's a dog. Real dog, domesticated dog fur. Boycott them. So that is something that will be coming out too as well. And not only do we need to stand up for people's rights, I think we need to stand up for animals' rights. Animals, especially our dogs and cats, you know, whatever other pets. We all know if you own pets. I've had them my whole life. I've had cats my whole lives. I've got 3 right now, and I've got 2 big dogs. And every one of them has a soul. They feel pain. Okay, they have personalities. They go through this drama the same as people. So not only do we need to fight for our children and fight for other humans, we need to fight for animals' rights too. It's not okay. It's not okay to do that to them at all. And some people say, well, how do I, what am I to do? Like, it's just me. I can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. Put a bumper sticker on your car. Speak out. If you see something, like, speak up and speak out. Like, I'm really shy. I'm a shy person. It takes a lot for me. But to get on here on YouTube and talk about these things, like, it's not an easy subject to talk about. And people just need to speak up. Speak up. Now is the time to speak up and speak out against this suffering that people and animals are going through right now. We have to. Like I said, wear a t-shirt with something that you're for, yeah, a bumper sticker. Tell other people. I mean, just get it out there. Go to marches, go to rallies that are in support of this. We have to start doing this. We have to rise up. We have to take responsibility. Humankind has been asleep for way too long, okay? And nobody wants to deal with this stuff. Nobody does. But you know what? We have to. We have to take responsibility. And we have to tell these assholes, no, we're not going to take it. You're going down. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so we're done. Our contract with you is done. Time to move on, and it's time to start a whole new world. Okay? So, we all bleed the same color red on this planet. Doesn't matter what race you are. Doesn't matter if you're an animal. We all bleed red. We all need to help each other. So, hopefully this was informative for you and not a bad thing, but I just wanted to discuss it, and hopefully more people will start discussing this and getting this out there. So, like I said, things are happening, and hopefully soon here, things will start rolling for the positive. I see a light. The light at the end of the tunnel is coming, and it's becoming brighter and brighter. And so hang in there, guys. Okay, stand your ground, because you know what? I ain't going down without a fight. I'll tell you that. Like, I might be a shy person, but oh hell yeah, I'm going to defend my family, my furry kids. I'm going to defend them with my life. And you should too. So, anyway, I love you guys. And I'll probably do another video this week too on something really cool. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Try and stay out of the heat inside. And I love you guys. And we will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.